Talk Crypto. Really appreciate you being here. This is a new channel, so if you give it a like and subscribe, I really appreciate it. And yeah, thank you for joining me. I've been wanting to get a video out for the last few days, but I've just been observing a lot of events, and there's something I really want to sort of, I guess, talk about, and that's ultimately where we are in the market, where it's going, and the crazy next 18 months, 2 years we're going to experience, and it's going to be super exciting for all of us. But how and why it's so important just to have a plan, have a strategy, because we're all going to get carried away with this hyperbolic craziness that's about to come. And I'm super excited about it. I know you guys are. But for any of you who just remember, if you just look back, if you've been in the market for a little while, if you just look back 6 months, a year, 2 years, dare I say it, it's been a really tough time. But how quickly does everybody sort of forget about it? It's really interesting. It's like suddenly, those horrendous sort of last 18 months or however long it's been, that whole bear market, it's almost as though the whole commentary, the whole vibe within social, within YouTube, and a lot of the content that's going out there, it's unbelievably parabolically excited, positive, and I'm very sort of tuned into the sentiment, and I consume the videos every single day from various YouTubers, which are all fantastic. But it's really interesting for me. It's really weird. Okay, so I've really wanted to tune out of the noise, and it's really weird because it's all positive. So you think, well, surely you'd want to listen to all the really good news, all the moon boy stuff, crypto's going to the moon, etc. Yeah, of course, it's exciting. It's fun to occasionally watch those price predictions to imagine what can be, and you'll do it, and I know it's fun. And I guess it helps shape, possibly a bit of a strategy. You can get a sentiment of what people are thinking and all the rest of it. Ultimately, no one knows. But it's really weird how I've really gone into, I guess, more of a, I don't really want to listen to too much sort of excitement. And it's not because I don't want to. I'm trying to get through in my own mind why that is. And I think it's partly because, I'm acutely aware that I don't want to get caught up in chasing after the next shiny thing. One of the people who kindly left a message on one of the previous videos mentioned something, and I literally just messaged him back on the channel to say, yeah, it's like we're going to be like magpies chasing the next shiny thing. And I think it's really I think that's it. Ultimately, I think it's so easy to go, right, okay, this is and again, it depends where you are, I guess, in terms of being an investor. But if you've already got a portfolio and you've been, dollar cost averaging over the sort of bear period and keeping your head down and trying to just get through it, you've got your position now. The question is, do you carry on, adding to your position? Or when you get carried away and you hear about, somebody's dropping a video and they're talking about this project and this is going to be like unbelievable, it's going to, 1000x, or, it's very easy to get caught up in that hysteria. And certainly with my first sort of cycle that I went through in, what was it, 21? Yeah, I first got in 2020. So 2021 was that crazy cycle. I certainly, I guess, was starting to develop my portfolio, if that makes sense. So to a certain extent, I was trying to listen and work out what was good and what was not good. And you get, you sort of get carried away with, chasing after that next shiny thing and trying to outperform, everything else that's actually doing really well. I think there's an element of caution, particularly if you've got your sort of portfolio, or even if you're starting from scratch, is just to be, it's possibly two different things. So if you've already got a portfolio, you've got to question yourself and say, like, okay, am I satisfied with where I'm at? Because, and add to your position or do whatever. I mean, everyone's got a different strategy. Or are you going to be sort of tuned into every YouTuber who's going to be shouting about, oh, this coin, because I can guarantee there's going to be a lot of new projects that are coming out over the next 18 months. And that's quite simply because, well, we all know why, don't we? You know, we're going to go into a bull market, and there's going to be a lot of opportunities for lots of different people, whether it's project builders or, you know, people investing early in projects and it goes really well. So I think it's just that you've got to be very mindful of it. And this is why I think I've been sort of tuning out a little bit, just to, you know, I've seen it, you know, a lot of these videos popping up and going, oh, you know, I can feel myself going, oh, that's interesting. And I go, well, hang on a second, you know, where do you stop? Do you keep chasing? Or do you go, actually, I'm happy with my portfolio where it is now. And I'm just sort of, you know, I'm going to make strategic decisions rather than just go after the hype. And I'm not saying not to you know, to do that in the sense of, you know, looking for projects and trying to find new opportunities. I'm just thinking, be mindful of it. Be mindful in terms of how, you know, your emotional mind dictates what you actually practically do. And I think it's just being in control of that. And I think that's why I've sort of tuned out a little bit of some of the noise. And it's a bit, like I said, it's a bit crazy. You know, we all love positivity. We all like, you know, all the rest of it. But, you know, I was probably watching more YouTube videos throughout the whole bear market than I am currently now, which is crazy. But I think it's for that reason. I think, you know, it's all this hype. You go, you know, well, have I missed something? And it's that FOMO, isn't it? As we know, fear of missing out. But I think if you've got a portfolio and you've just gone through that last period and you're still here, you know what, you know, you're going to be fine. I guess the question is, you got to ask yourself is, you know, do you want to invest further? Do you not want to invest further? Do you want to hold your position? You know, et cetera, you know, when do you stop? You know, if you're DCAing, when do you stop? And when do you start taking profits and all the rest of it? So I think it's just, you've got to be very mindful of the noise that's coming out there. And as exciting as it is, that's great, but just be mindful. So that's just a little piece I just wanted to just sort of share with you. Why I probably haven't done any videos for a few days, and I've just been thinking, like, you know, what do I want to share with you guys? And, you know, I've been tuning out, so I, you know, haven't listened too much. Apart from, obviously, and this is a little bit late, I know, is obviously SBF. So thank goodness it was such an easy result in terms of the jury finding him guilty. It obviously came through super quick. I think it was within a matter of hours after that the jury sort of deliberated and came back with a result, and it caught a lot of people off guard when the jury stood up and gave their guilty verdict. Obviously, he's got to go back to court again, potentially, if they're going to sort of pursue other charges, I think in March. Whether they would be satisfied with what they've got, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. So that's to be decided. And again, this sort of story does feed into what I was just talking about in terms of hype and not making bad decisions, because a lot of you will make bad decisions, unfortunately. You know, I make bad decisions. You know, most of us do. Hopefully we can make more good ones than bad ones, but we obviously learn from making bad ones as well. So never be afraid to make a decision, but just be prepared to live with it. So I mean, that's a classic example of, you know, what could happen in the next bear market, where people get excited. There's, you know, the FOMO, fear of missing out. They hear about this next shiny thing, and then it all blows up in somebody's face. So just be very careful, be very mindful of getting carried away, because the sentiment not long ago was super negative, super like the end of the world. It was awful, and it was a tough, long drag. You know, it seemed like it was never gonna end, but these things happen. You know, these events happen, and life has a, you know, habit of going through cycles. I've mentioned that before. So when you sometimes can't see, you know, when the next bit of good news is going to come, it just feels all bad. It does eventually come, and equally, when everything's really, really good, just be careful, just be mindful that it isn't going to last forever, no matter what people say. So right now is a really good time to start thinking mentally about that. Get yourself prepared taking stock, trying to make as many plans as you can. If you can actually make plans and write plans down, that really helps, because when your emotional mind takes over, it can sort of dictate the way your sort of your actions. So if you can write things down and make it much more actionable when certain trigger points happen, hopefully you can take your emotional mind out of that process and be much more sort of programmatically sort of focused on your mission, whatever that is. And you've obviously got to figure that out for yourself. So listen, guys, that was just a little quick video. I'm really excited about it. I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't want to come across as really negative in terms of the market and what's happening. It's going to be crazy. It genuinely is going to be crazy. I can't wait for it. I'm super excited, and I know I'm going to get carried away, as I'm sure a lot of you guys are. But we've all got to just get a sensible hats on, and just focus on, right, what can I do to not fuck things up again? So that's a little thing I want to share. I hope that's helpful. Bear it in mind. If you got to this point, give us this video a little like, subscribe. I really appreciate it. This is a new young channel, and all your support and all your comments are going to be greatly appreciated. So catch up with you guys soon. Take care.